national minimum wage came into effect on the 1st of January 2019. As our members will be well aware of, the national minimum wage process has dragged on for round about 3 years, and this is the culmination of a process that went as far as NEDLAC, Parliament and a few other processes in between. Now what this means is that from the 1st of January 2019, no worker in South Africa may be paid less than 20 Rand per hour. For farm workers, a special dispensation was granted given the vulnerabilities in the agricultural sector. This means that farm workers will earn 90% of the national minimum wage, or 18 Rand per hour. Sectoral Determination 13, which is the farm worker sectoral determination, still stands in as far as conditions of service for farm workers go. Now, as you are aware, farm workers include workers on farms, as well as domestic workers employed on farms, and private security guards who are not in service of private security companies. Now, as far as the sectoral determination goes, the only allowable deductions from the national minimum wage will be those deductions allowed in terms of the sectoral determination. No other deductions are deemed allowable as far as the National Minimum Wage Act is concerned. Where employers cannot afford the national minimum wage, they can apply for exemption. Exemptions have been streamlined into an online process where you will obtain an answer immediately as to whether exemption has been granted in your case or not. More information on the online process can be obtained from provincial organisations. Exemptions will be granted for a maximum of 12 months and will be granted up to 90% of what farm workers currently earn, which is 18 Rand an hour. This means should exemption be granted in your case, you will be paying round about 16 Rand per hour to your farm workers. Now, where a business is operating at a loss, exemption will be granted automatically after going through the process, and there are quite a few other instances where exemptions will be granted immediately as well. The national minimum wage is a floor, which means that no worker in South Africa may earn less than the national minimum wage. Another important change that was brought in is a national minimum working day. What that means is no worker may be paid for less than 4 hours of work, whether or not that worker worked for the full hours or not. The last important change to take into consideration is the definition of a worker. This is a change from the definition of an employee, as a worker is defined as any person who gives a service to another person where money is exchanged in terms of remuneration. Such a person will be deemed as a worker, and such a worker will have to be paid the national minimum wage.